All right, guys, it's CodyBChasing streaming live from Western North Dakota. We're going to be doing full live streaming coverage of the North Dakota winter blizzard. I wanted to get on here and kind of redo the initial, I guess, briefing. Okay, so where we're at right now, I'm going to click on it. We are currently in a winter storm warning, and there's 8 hours and 44 minutes remaining. However, this is something that's going to go into tomorrow, clear into the morning. So yeah, it says at 8 p.m. it's going to get nasty. And then in Bismarck over to Jamestown, so that whole Interstate 94 corridor is in a blizzard warning and a winter weather advisory. There's probably going to be some road closures later on. I was just on Interstate 94 traveling west at about 65 miles an hour. The road conditions are starting to deteriorate, so I wanted to get on here and give an update about that situation. So right now they have the de-icers out, which is a good thing. In the state of North Dakota, they don't allow salt on the road, so they have to use either gravel or like a de-icing agent, which is usually liquid. However, there is this big misconception about roads out here and driving with four-wheel drive, and it's these deteriorating road conditions that lead to a lot of accidents, semis in the ditch, and unfortunately sometimes people dying on the road. Right now it's 21 degrees outside, and it's just cold enough to be dropping this sort of rain snow. Okay, so rain snow is like sleet, but not really, because sleet is like ice crystals. These are like raindrops, but as the sun goes down and nightfall approaches, this will turn into heavy snowfall. And what happens here is, even though it's 21 degrees outside, we also have this wind chill. And as you know, wind chill will freeze things at the surface, even though the ground isn't technically frozen yet. So granted, the weather's been warm enough to keep the ground from freezing, but this wind over top will actually freeze that rain onto the roads. So Interstate 94 is going to be very treacherous later on, especially as nightfall approaches. And I wanted to get that out here, that if you need to travel, there is a couple things that you should have in your vehicle at all time. And we are going to be doing full live coverage of this event, probably later tonight, after midnight, and tomorrow morning too. A couple things. Number one, you want to make sure you have boots like this. Okay, these are 100% waterproof. If you must travel, then you must have some boots like that. You also must have an extra jacket. It's very important. I've actually got 3 of them in here. I've got one back here and one down here on the floor. You should probably have something like a lighter, just in case. From the firework channel, I always have my torch. So you gotta have something like that if you have to travel. Western North Dakota in particular is extremely desolate. There are not many towns from one spot to another. So you might be on a highway stretch for 60 miles before you find civilization. Okay, so the other thing you wanna have is a winter hat of some sort, so something like that. And you wanna make sure you have gloves. Now, these are not winter gloves, but I have my winter gloves down there in that door. Oh, actually, these are the winter gloves. Okay, so you wanna have something like this in your vehicle at all times. Underneath this, I have a sweatshirt on. Okay, so I'm nice and toasty in here. I've got a full tank of gas. That's also very important. If you must travel in these road conditions, you wanna make sure you have enough gas. If you do go into the ditch, you're gonna want heat, okay? So your vehicle must be able to run for a long time. Sometimes it can take emergency services a long time to get to you, especially if you go in the ditch out in the middle of nowhere, which is where we're at right now. Okay, so that's a little bit of an update for you. This storm is a rotating storm. So what that means is on its approach to North Dakota, it's coming at us like this, okay? And on this end, which is gonna go through Iowa and Minnesota, there's gonna be severe weather, rain squalls, probably severe thunderstorms, and possibly tornadoes. What happens here is in the upper left quadrant of this rotating storm, because it's cold enough, we're gonna get a blizzard. Now this blizzard's gonna wrap around and it's gonna be all hell on earth, okay? We've seen this before. We live streamed last year during a similar blizzard, but it was in April. And we're gonna be covering this one as well. I think we're gonna get a lot more ice with this storm, however, because it has been raining. I call it rain snow because it's now collecting on the front of the vehicle here, and I can tell it's white. You know, it's not rain, it's not wet. It's definitely coming down now, and it's freezing enough to become ice or snow. But as this storm approaches North Dakota, it's going to come like this, okay? So the wind right now is coming out of the northeast. Okay, and then eventually later on tonight, going into tomorrow, I assume the wind is going to wrap, something like that, around North Dakota. A couple areas that are going to get hit especially hard is the I-94 corridor between, it looks like, what is this town here? Hebron, North Dakota, all the way to Valley City. If you live anywhere on that stretch, I don't recommend driving. I don't even recommend getting on the road right now. You got to take this stuff seriously. It doesn't matter that your vehicle has four-wheel drive. Icy roads do not care about your feelings. Remember that. So you could be the best driver in the world and still go in the ditch. I see it every year, and unfortunately it's these people that are a little too cocky when they get on the road. They want to go fast. They want to do the speed limit. Well, my pickup has four-wheel drive. You know, they think they can go fast, but unfortunately, 50% of those people are going to end up in the ditch. And yeah, as far as other I'm looking at Montana right now too. Okay, Montana, they're expecting 4 to 7 inches of snow. Where I'm at right now, we are expecting 10 inches and wind gusts as high as 35 miles per hour. When Interstate 94 becomes a skating rink, those wind gusts, even if they're 35 miles an hour, can sometimes fishtail your vehicle and throw you off the road. And you don't want to do that in western North Dakota. There's a lot of hills out here. I'm sure that you locals, if anybody's watching this from North Dakota, you understand that the whole eastern side of the state is flat like a pancake. But as you move further west, you've got these hills. And so a lot of your driving is going to be up and down. And if interstate becomes, and not even interstate, but like highways become a skating rink, you're going to have a really hard time getting up that hill. And if the wind is coming from a certain way and you get hit with a big wind gust, especially in a high clearance vehicle, can actually fishtail your vehicle into the ditch. This is what happens to semis. And over in Bismarck, they are expecting 16 inches. So we're right in between Montana and Bismarck. Montana's got 7 inches expected. Bismarck has 16, and we have 10 inches expected of snowfall. And we're going to be going live tonight when this is happening. Yes, it says right here, ice accumulations are going to be expected on the highway. And already that is starting to happen. Okay, travel will be very difficult to impossible. Widespread blowing snow will significantly reduce visibility. Right now, visibility is about a half a mile on the highway. So if any of you are wondering, it's about half a mile visibility, which isn't the best, but could be worse. Okay, travel should be restricted to emergencies only, so there's already a no travel advised. Yeah, basically, if you can stay home, please stay home. We don't want anybody dying out in this. And yeah, that's about all I've got for updates right now. Right now, we are not seeing a lot of snowfall, but I expect that will increase during nightfall. I think in a few hours here, it's probably going to get pretty crazy around here. And we will be live to show you guys that later on.